911 systems here with the SA400 series alert controller. This is a wall-mounted complete station alert system in a box. So the difference between the SA400 and the SA1, SA2, and SA5 and the Voice Alert Pro is that this box does not require you to hook it to a pager or another radio for activation. Everything is included inside the box to make this work. When you order it, all we need is your dispatch frequency, which can be VHF or UHF, and we would also need your tone sets. Now I will say that this setup here is designed more for an agency that either needs multiple functions when there's a call, or it can be set up for a department that has multiple tones and they would like a different color light and a different audio file to play for each call. So let me jump right into it here. I'm gonna open this up, show you the inside. First of all, it's the SA400. Up top there's a BNC jack that you can't quite see. Underneath there's a power input and a fuse. And then underneath on this side there is a place to run all your wires for your lights and whatnot into the bottom. So let me go ahead and pop this open. As you can see here, I'm going to use this antenna to point to things. This is the radio that receives the dispatch frequency. This is the two-tone decoder board that will listen to the audio from the radio. And then when your tones that are programmed into this board are received, it will activate accordingly depending on how you'd like it activated. Up here is the user programmable relay controller. This has 8 relays. For each of the 4 banks of tones that this can handle, which I'll go into detail in a little bit, there's 2 activation relays. This particular model is set up so that you get 12 volts of power on the first relay for each of the 4 banks, which would be all your even numbers, so 0, 2, 4, and 6, and then relays 1, 3, 5, and 7 are set up to an open collector, so you can use it as just a standard relay for whatever your need may be at the firehouse or the rescue squad. And this is completely programmable. It does come with it will come with a video that you can watch for instructions. Down here you'll see the voice board. This here activates when there's a call or a remote button is pressed, that you might want to put a remote button in the watch office or the control center of your firehouse. So when there's a in-house emergency, you can press the button and it will play an audio message of your choice. Then you can see everything terminates here at this bus bar, and it's very easy to understand everything. We have a diagram over here. So the two-tone board actually has 4 possible banks of tones. Each bank can hold 3 sets of tones. So if you have a firehouse that has a tone for fire and a tone for rescue, or maybe a tone for fire, a tone for ambulance, a tone for a battalion chief, you can actually differentiate them in these different banks. When anything in the same color bank goes off, it will activate the light or notification device that's connected to this port that matches the color up here. So your green ports activate when something in bank 1, which is the green bank, activates. If anything activates in the yellow bank here, which is bank 2, then these outputs will activate. Notice that we have 12 volts out set up as one of them, and then you have a regular relay open collector, which means you can basically run your own project through this relay that requires a relay, for lack of better terms. Also up here, you may be able to see it, you might not be able to, it depends on how you're watching this video, but you'll see where it says alert audio file. This shows the audio file name that is associated with each bank. So if something was to go off in bank 1, audio file 1 would play. If something would go off in bank 2, audio file 2. Something goes off in bank 3, audio file 3. Bank 4, audio file 4. So that being said, it's really simple, it's really intuitive, it's very easy to hook up. Some of the other ports that you have is like your power input, radio output. Now this is an unfiltered radio output, so it's not squelched. This is for somebody who may want to take that signal and run it through something else. That's not really for monitoring it over your PA speakers. We recommend you use a base station radio for that. This box is really designed just to activate the relays when there's a call and whatnot. Then this here is your alert audio output. This is what you would connect to run to your PA amplifier, and this gives you the option to hook up by RCA connector, which is a phono plug or 1/4 inch, or even a 3.5 millimeter audio plug, which is an 1/8 inch. And then here is a button. This is for a remote activation button. The remote activation button would be something you'd put in your watch office or your radio room, and this would allow you to activate the system manually. This does not activate any lights in its current state, but it could be configured to activate lights upon request. This is really just to play a specific audio file or something really obnoxious over the intercom system when you have an in-house emergency or you need to get people's attention for a call that may be coming in. So I'm going to turn the camera back to the alert system here. And as you can see, these are the bus bars here, the bus bar with the different plugs. The really nice thing about this, and the reason I chose this for this alert system, is because these pull out. So you can kind of see, let me go to one that I can get to easily. So let's just say the button, you just grab it. It pulls right out. That way you can pull your wire through the bottom, unscrew your connector, put your wire in, and simply push it back in. It's that easy. It's really not complicated. And like I said, we program this thing for you completely. So you would give us your frequency for the radio, the way you want your tones to work, and there's so many possibilities. You don't have to use this as 4 separate banks of page tones. You can have 2 tones and you can say, okay, these 2 relays here would go off with the fire, and these 2 relays here would go off with EMS. And that would give you 4 relays up here, 2 of them being 12-volt output devices, you know, like a light bell, a bed shaker, whatever you can think of that's 12 volts, you can connect to that as long as you keep it under 5 amps. And then, so if you have your EMS tones in these 2 relays here, they would activate on these 4 relays. So you get 2 12-volt outputs, which these are currently set for 2-minute activations, but you can adjust that in the field and we can configure it to anything you would like. The open collectors are just momentary, so they activate for 5 seconds upon activation. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go ahead and close this back up. I'm just going to stick this antenna up here, and I have some test tones in here that we can show you how this activates. See if I can get a better view for you. So down here you can't really see it, but down here that's a 70-volt PA amplifier. We do have a speaker in the ceiling, and we have a speaker right there that's 70 volts. That one is currently not hooked up. We're using the ceiling speaker, which is just above the camera. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to activate a set of tones so you can see. Now I have 4 different sets of tones programmed into the 4 different banks, so you get a different light activation for each tone. As you can see, the stack light is just 3 lights. So I have one of the fire department tones that I'm testing with is programmed to the blue and red LED light that's mounted to the right side of the screen there. So here we're going to show a few activations.
Engine 9.
Test 1, 2. So that was company 9 activation. As you can hear over the speaker, which we don't have the volume turned up very loud, you can really crank it if you want to get people's attention. That was just the standard text to speech, which said station 9. For the second I'm going to show the medic unit. Now the medic unit, we did a little differently. The medic unit has got a ramped up tone. It starts off quiet, it gets louder. It's still only like about 4 seconds long. So here's an example of that.
Medic unit.
Test 1, 2. As you can see with the medic unit, the orange stack light flashes. With the fire tone, it was the red light came on solid. See, the next example here will be company 3. Actually, I'm going to do EMS 38. That way we turn on all the stacks.
Ambulance 38.
So as you can see, it said ambulance 38, or actually as you could hear, it said ambulance 38, and as you can see, the green light comes on. So it just shows an example of the different ways the alert system can take the tones and turn it into something. You don't have to necessarily turn on a stack light. You could have different LED lights, like on the right-hand side, the 4-tier LED lights. And matter of fact, I will activate. We do have one set of tones that is programmed to the red and blue LED light. I'm going to go ahead and activate that now.
Engine 3.
So as you can see, the PA system said engine 3, and the red and blue LED lights are on. A very simple example of what this is capable of, and the fact that it's so customizable. When you place your order, we'll obviously have to contact you and ask exactly what you're looking for it to do, and then we'll customize it to your specifications, as long as it's within the scope of its ability. And there are additional things that you can add on and whatnot, and those will be listed on the website as it comes along. I wanted to give you a little better look at the page here that's on the inside of the door that gives you all the information. So when I was saying about the banks, as you can see here, you have bank 1, 2, 3, and 4, and you can program up to 3 sets of tones. We're currently just using 1 set of tones in each bank, but if you weren't really worried about having a different audio file play for each set of tones, and say you only had 3 tones but you had 4 different things you wanted to activate through the relays, when there was a call for any one of them tones, then you could put all 3 of your tones in bank 1, bank 2, bank 3, and bank 4, and then whenever any of them tones went off, all 4 banks would activate, and that would activate all of your relays each time there was a call. That's why I was saying the unit is so customizable and it's so feature rich. The fact that it has its own radio to receive everything, the tone board is well proven. It's been around for several years now, and then the voice, the audio file, and it doesn't have to be an audio file saying, you know, engine 3 respond. I mean, I've had departments ask for an automated thing that says, yo, wake up, we got a call, get your asses moving. So it can be any audio file you want. If you have something funny, or maybe something that is an inside joke of your department that you like to play whenever you had a fire call or an EMS call, you could definitely play those audio files through here. It'll play any MP3 audio files. So just to give you one more look at the system here. It's very intuitive. It's a little complex. I do build each one of these. I build each one of these units myself, and then I test it usually for 2 or 3 days after I build it, just to make sure it's working before I ship to the customer. I have a few of these out there. They're all custom builds, and then somebody was like, hey, you should just, you know, build these and sell them as a standard unit. Well, I'm kind of going to do that. Starting February 7th, you'll be able to order this off of 911systemsllc.com. Like I said, there is a 7 to 10 day wait because I do have to build it to your order. And hopefully you guys don't bombard me with 70 orders in the first week, because I might get a little backed up. These do take me about 6 to 8 hours a piece to build. So if you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments below. You know, depending on where you've seen this, you might seen like a teaser on TikTok, and then the full length video is going to be on my YouTube. So let me know what you guys think. Somebody's going to ask me how much does it cost. Well, as it is, the way you see it set up right now is $19.95, so $1,995. But you have to, you know, take into account that you don't have to pay for a pager and all that other stuff. So that saves you between $400 and $800, just not having to have a pager. And if you're using a radio, then you can say, well, it saves you anywhere from $400 to $6,000. So you don't have to have your own radio to monitor this. So anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Any suggestions on tweaking anything or whatnot. I feel like it's a pretty well designed and rounded unit that's going to meet the needs of most firefighters, at least in the United States, for setting off bells and whistles and lights and playing audio and all that. So y'all be safe out there, and thanks for watching.